What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time joining me today, my name is Noah Cavanaugh. I'm a pro footballer from Seattle, Washington. Today, we are looking at the Vapor 14 Elite in a size 9.5 US. So I went up a size as opposed to the last Vapors that I reviewed. This is actually a pair of boots that a friend of mine gave to me to borrow before he wears them. So shout out Henry, thank you so much. This is a Vapor 14 Elite review. It's the brand new colorway, that Volt yellow, red, and black colorway that looks absolutely fantastic in pictures. We'll see how they look in person. Let's hop straight into the video. All right, guys, per usual, we have the silver Nike Elite Series box, so all the top end boots get these, and they very basic. Again, this is the Vapor 14 Elite FG in the Volt Bright Crimson and Black colorway, so bright crimson being that like orangey yellow color, which you guys will see in just a minute when I open up the box. This is a size 9.5 US, UK 8.5, and the 27.5 centimeters. So that is what is inside the box. Again, thank you, Henry, for letting me review these. It is another Vapor review, so I know those have been super popular, so I figured, hey, why not have the opportunity to review a different colorway and in a half size larger? So presumably it might fit a little bit better and offer a little more width for my feet. Obviously, Vapors aren't a boot that I'm gonna be wearing full time, but it's awesome to see if a half size up works best. So let's hop straight into the unboxing. So we'll jump over here. And again, silver box, Nike, delivered from the future in a cardboard box. Pretty cool, I like that logoing. And as you open up the box, it's very, very straightforward. Nike paper. And we'll look at, oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so Volt yellow, these beautiful Volt yellow, this crimson. There's already some details in here that I'm seeing that I really like. And again, so the Vapor 14 is made out of this new stripped down, there's like a stripped down Flyknit right in the middle here, and then this new material is called Vaporposit. And there's an AvailQ lining, which is like a new microfiber application. It adds tactile surface across the upper for better ball control at high speeds. So that's this stuff right here. And you have the Aero Track 2 sole plate. So this is a next gen take on the sole plate from the Vapor 13, which was anatomical. It was a really good sole plate. It was a split sole plate. So now they have this Aero Track system through the middle as well, and that says engineered for speed right there. So those are the boots. They are really cool looking, very, very bright, very flashy, which I think absolutely can work for you if that is your type of play style and or look. But let's grab these out of the box really quick. And you can see they are super, super bright. In the bottom, you do get a boot bag. This is what the boot bag looks like. So it's got the Mercurial on the one side, and it's got those really cool designs, which this is basically the upper of the boot splayed flat. And then you have like the blueprint of it with the Mercurial logo, the Nike swoosh obviously, in that hyper crimson, pink red colorway, and the Volt. So pretty cool string bag. String bags are fairly basic in my opinion. So here we go. So, okay, so this is actually a really cool design. I really like the new design of the Vapors because you have this, obviously the really bright yellow-y Volt colorway here, but then you also have the overlay of this material, that AvailQ liner, I think it's called, but it is like a textured upper that gives a little bit of texturing to the ball, gives you the availability to spin the ball, do that kind of stuff a little bit more easily, especially in wet conditions. It does have all conditions control, this ACC stuff, which people have debated whether or not it's actually real, but it has the logoing anyway, obviously the Vaporposit logoing, and then it offers a much more kind of a covered look. So it doesn't look totally Volt yellow, like the whole thing doesn't look like the laces and that lace area with the Flyknit, it has this muted color, which I think looks really cool. And then it's got a ton of Nike soccer, Nike football, and then Nike football in all different languages, which I think is super dope, through this hyper crimson Nike swoosh right here. So you've got the black outline, and then you've got kind of an offset red Nike swoosh, and that's where all the different languages are, which I think is awesome. So as you guys probably know from the last review that I put out, this has like an interesting collar on it, which I don't think, or excuse me, little interesting heel tab, which I think looks super cool. It makes it look really, really fast, really aggressive, but it has absolutely no playing benefits. In fact, I think a lot of people have cut these off and have just been totally fine with it. As far as weight goes, the Vapors are pretty decently light. They are definitely a speed boot, but they don't even come close to something like a Puma Ultra 1.3 or 1.2 or 1.1 for that matter. The Puma boots are pretty consistently lighter. However, the X Speedflow 0.1s are probably about the same. Obviously, they've got the carbon fiber sole plate, but the Vapors are a fantastic variation of, or next generation, I should say, of that beautiful silo that is the Nike Mercurial Vapor that's been out for so long now. So I'll take this bad boy out of, let's see if I can get this out, and you guys can see how soft that Vaporposit upper is. Very, very nice. Again, super soft. It's very similar to what you had on the Vapor 13 as far as softness goes, except it's a completely different boot now. So yes, there is Flyknit, it is a Flyknit base, but this Vaporposit upper is synthetic. So it's not actually a knit material except through just that lacing system and then around the little spots right around your ankle, which provide a really nice collar. That was one complaint that I actually had about the, what was it, the X Ghosted 0.1 and the X Ghosted Plus, were that around, and they fixed it with obviously the X Speedflow, but I really appreciate how even though Nike went to a synthetic upper, they still kept that really soft Flyknit area around your ankle, because I think that works so much better and it gives just a really nice seamless feel around your ankle, which I appreciate very much. So again, these are a 9.5 US, so hopefully these fit better than the 9 did. The 9s were very tight on my feet. They fit well, I'm not gonna lie. They do fit exactly like a Vapor should, really snug, really tight. The anatomical sole plate is pretty fantastic. I think the best sole plate in the entire world would be the X Speedflow 0.1. However, if you were to combine perhaps the anatomical, the anatomicalness of this boot plus the carbon fiber Carbitex insole from the Vapor, or excuse me, from the Speedflow 0.1 or Speedflow Plus, that would be like the best. But again, doing anatomical stuff with a carbon fiber, that would be like exponentially more expensive. On the inside, it's fairly thin in here, so if I'm just putting my fingers like on either side, it's a very thin upper. You've got a little bit of a suede lining on the midfoot and forefoot, so basically everything from here forward is sort of a suede lining. There is a suede lining on the back, as you can see there. There's perforations in that back to give the heel liner and the heel counter, make it a little bit more comfortable in that heel cup. I think the perforations in the heel are probably for like ventilation or whatever to prevent slippage and all that stuff, but I don't know. It's probably not super crazy effective at the end of the day. It's just it's more of an aesthetic thing. As far as, let's see if I can get these out. As far as here we go, the little sole plate thing. Trying to remember what this is called. I can never remember what these are called. Anyway, super interesting technology that I think is super awesome. So on the bottom of the boot, they put I hope you can see that in there. There's a pattern inside there that's actually like molded into the base that matches this grid pattern right here. And so it allows for this piece of material, and I don't know why this is so hard for me to remember the name of this. Put it down in the comments. You'll know what it is. Anyway, the heel liner or shoe liner, whatever it's called, inserts. Here we go. So with this insert, and it locks right into place, which is super cool. So you know that there's oftentimes in boots that don't have this technology, you see sort of a slippage once you have grip socks on. The grip socks are so grippy that they grip to the upper, right up here, and then they grip to the bottom of that the liner, the shoe liner, and the shoe liner then slips inside the shoe, which has been a problem for me for sure. But with these Vapors, because of those patterns that kind of lock into each other, it does a really good job of staying in place, which I think is a huge benefit of the technology. The little details in the Vapor 14, and obviously you see this in the car world with something like a Golf GTI, right? Or a Volkswagen Golf. You see it with the Porsche 911. You see it with some of these cars that have been around for so long. It's the same with this, right? So they've made, and Mizuno boots do this as well. They've made really tiny upgrades of, and obviously they've switched silos, and there's been some failure Vapors and stuff, and fanboys will obviously totally kind of crap on me for saying that, but there's been some failure Vapors in my opinion, some that are not as good. But for the most part, they've made really tiny incremental changes that have actually, in the places that matter, like the sole plate, here you've got the insole technology right there. It's so simple, but it does make a huge difference. And then obviously the softness of the upper, even though it does have quite a lot of lockdown because it is a Vapor. So that's something to think about. I am very excited to try these on in a 9.5 US. We will see how they fit and feel on feet. I'm going to jump into my backyard and put these on. I will definitely be wearing some grip socks, so I'll show you guys how they feel with a pair of grip socks on, and we will go from there. So let's hop straight into the on-feet portion of the video. Thanks for joining me for this little tech overview and in-hand and softness overview. Let's get it. All right, fam, so out here with the Vapor 14. Ooh, it is a bit wet. Bummer. Okay, that's all right. So I've got the Vapor 14 Elite here, and I don't have grip socks on because none of them were clean. Because I'm back at training, I don't have that many pairs anymore, partially because when I came back from Australia, I had to dump a bunch of stuff that I couldn't bring back because of weight savings. So I ended up giving a lot of the soccer equipment away so that I could come back to the United States without paying a ton of extra for shipping stuff. Okay, so let's throw these on again. These are 9.5, and I keep saying that because these are not my usual size. It is the size, excuse me, of Vapor that I wore in Australia. Interesting. Okay, so definitely a little more room than those size 9s, but they are still Vapors, meaning they are still incredibly thin and very snug on feet. The anatomical sole plate does feel kind of cool, which I do really appreciate. Again, these are not boots that I would wear for a training session, simply because, or a game, obviously, for that matter, because they are so thin on my feet. As you can see from the close-up images that I'll put over this voiceover, is that they have definitely a little bit of room in the toe box because they're a little bit wider, but these are definitely a little bit wider. They fit okay. Again, not a boot that I would wear because I'm so wide-footed. But as far as a speed boot goes, like let's talk just speed boot because this is a review, general review. As far as speed boots go, these are a great option. Again, you can't really go wrong at this point. There are 3 top contenders for 4, I would argue, if you include the Mercurial Neo 3 Beta. There's 4 fantastic football boots on the market in the speed category, none of which you could go wrong with. I think the Vapor is sort of the tried, true, tested speed boot that you can buy. I'm not gonna lace them up because they are super, super tight, and I need my feet to be at least a little bit manageable in training later today. So yeah, but again, like the 9.5, it fits well, I would say. I wouldn't recommend buying a Vapor if you have to go a half a size up, because I think that's just the wrong fit. I think you need to get the length of the shoe right, first of all. So if I were to shove my feet into a Vapor, yes, I would get a 9. They would absolutely destroy my feet. But that's the reason why I wouldn't buy them as my own pair of shoes. However, I do think these are great for a lot of people. If you've got sort of middle of the range width, like reasonable kind of average width or thinner feet, these will be perfect for you. I think these will be great. The upper is really soft right out of the box. Like, I gotta admit, this Vaporposit stuff is really awesome on feet. I think it feels really nice actually. And if they used a Vaporposit, like how cool would it be if instead of having Flyknit, they used this beautiful Vaporposit technology for the Phantom GT, made the Phantom GT just a total kick-ass boot, but for wide-footed players. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Sorry guys, my neighbors are a little bit loud. So yeah, again, like how cool would that be to have a wide-fitting variant of something like Vaporposit, right? So to have Vaporposit on a wider fitting shoe. Again, sole plate, anatomical sole plate feels really cool. It's such an awesome technology. This sole plate is really aggressive. It's very much similar to the X Speedflow, actually 3 out of 4. The Mizunos are the only one with the conical studs. Every other one has chevron studs like this Vapor does, so they feel really good. It does push you forward and up on your toes, which is awesome. Really good touch on the ball as well. So overall, I think for me, this boot, for my personal use, this is a 5 out of 10 boot. Again, amazing technology, but really not a boot that I would wear. Objectively speaking, this is like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Like, this is an excellent, excellent football boot if you have feet that fit into this boot. So again, if you've got average width feet to probably thinner on the anything less than, or anything thinner than an average size foot, I think you'll fit in these great and you'll be able to break them in. They'll break in a little bit wider for sure, but make sure you go with the length that fits you, because that's how the anatomical sole plate works, right? So you got to fit in lengthwise and then it'll break in widthwise. So that's it for the review, guys. If you want any other information and you have questions, put them down in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you are watching my content for the first time or for the second or third time. Like the video if you got value from it, and as always, guys, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.